Hey, Ophiuchus Seekers, happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's November 28th through December 18th is when your season is. Cool. And if you're watching this as a Seeker 13, you're not necessarily technically an Ophiuchus. Cool. Hello to you too. So I'm working with the Steampunk Tarot, but it's super stiff. I haven't used it in a while, so I'm gonna shuffle it. You're like, who am I? I thought I was a Sagittarius. Now apparently I'm an Ophiuchus. You're both. Ophiuchus is an integration of Scorpio and Sagittarius. So you're not wrong. You just added another layer. Ophiuchus for December, please. If you're new to Ophiuchus and you want to know more about it and how I approach my readings when it comes to Ophiuchus, check out, there's a playlist called Ophiuchus. Check out the first, specifically, I mean, see whatever you want, but specifically the first two videos in the playlist, the oldest ones. I give an extended intro explaining. So just go ahead and check it out. First card out for you, Eight of Swords. If you feel like you're in catch-22, meaning you're just between a rock and a hard place, things are overwhelming around you and you don't know what it is that you can do to change or improve it, yeah, now Five of Pentacles. So some of you are going through something really rough, both emotionally and possibly financially. It doesn't have to play out financially, but sometimes it does. You have some levels of restrictions. Some of you feel like you can't work for whatever reason, or whatever you do seems to never be enough or sufficient to what it is that you need. You feel like things are slipping off your fingers. Like, doesn't matter how much you try to chase something or fix something or do something right, or you know, anything that you feel like could possibly help, it seems to never work. Like everything just I think in situations like this, the only way out is in. You got to surrender into the anger, into the frustration, into the feeling of loss, and try to reach a really deep place inside of you, that is in alignment with that reality, and it's hidden very well. There's no one wants this, right? No one actually be like, oh, I wish for this, so I'm manifesting this. No. But we have layers upon layers upon layers of depth upon depth upon depth of existence, right? We go back with our soul and we go back with our traumas and many things we don't even remember, that are there that make things tick. So, with no shame and with no guilt and with no self judgment, please, it's definitely not coming from me, so don't you do that to yourself. Really dig deep. And then be that the main focus of your work and attention when it comes to healing, when it comes to resolve, when it comes to improving, whatever applies, right, to what it is that you find. If you find trauma that has to do with poverty, finances, loss, etc., and you recognize that it's I don't know, psychological trauma from childhood, whatever the case may be, seek actual therapy, psychological therapy, right? If this is something from a past lifetime that you recognize, maybe you have suddenly a memory from a past lifetime and you feel like it just repeats itself, seek someone who is really good at, doing reincarnation work. But either way, whatever you find, deal with it in a very focused, specific manner. Not like, don't like light a candle and hope it will be better. Be very proactive in the mundane world. Who's the best professional for the job, for whatever it is, right? Maybe you need financial advisor. Maybe you need a new accountant. Um, maybe if you're in dispute when it comes to custody, maybe you need a better lawyer. You don't have money, think what is more important. What is going to be more damaging, losing your child, God forbid, or owing money, right? So maybe you'll want to take a loan to get a better lawyer. Really think of the bottom line that is important, and then do what you need to do in order to um, improve the situation. Because Eight of Swords and Five of Pentacles, it's feeling so overwhelmed that you don't even know what the right thing to do is in order to snap out of it, right? So I feel that I'm intuitively guided to keep giving you different types of professionals or assistants. I don't think it's something you want to keep trying doing on your own. I think you want someone who knows what they're doing to help you through this. Okay? Um, OPHIUCHUS, please. Four of Pentacles. Okay, so going from Five of Pentacles to Four of Pentacles is an improvement. Okay, something is coming in. The situation is going to be less dire. Um, there's a level of saving grace, and even if it's not a lot or not enough, it still help. It gives you some energy to keep going and be like, and have hope and be like, okay, it's not completely, you know, there's something that can be done. This can be resolved. This can be improved, right? It gives you see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? You take a turn and oh my God, I can see it. There it is. I'm hearing a clock ticking. So for some of you, it's a matter of time. You feel like you're under time pressure. It could literally be a financial debt that you have to pay on time. Some of you feel like it's a karmic balancing act that you feel like your soul, your spirit has to resolve before it's like, before you go, before you're settled into the old earth forever and ever. And it's like, take a breath. I feel so much pressure and stress coming from you. It's okay. I can handle it. I'm just saying for you, um, you deserve to treat yourself better. You're going through something really hard. Practice breathing. Seriously, I know you hear it all the time from everyone. Well, they're right. It sounds so simple, but it creates an enormous difference because it helps your brain think clearer and sharper, and then you make better decisions, and you get these ideas that you didn't think about, and you're like, oh wait, I can do that. Yes, practice breathing, please. Oxygen is life force. When you breathe in and breathe out properly, you do the same with your life force. Okay? Now, you know what comes to mind when I'm looking at this Five and Four of Pentacles? J.K. Rowling. She was a single mother, super poor, and she started writing Harry Potter at a cafe. If I'm not mistaken, she was homeless at the time, but maybe I'm taking it too far, but I know at the very least she was in dire financial situation. Um, and then she just wrote Harry Potter. So it's one of those things where if you practice breathing, your Harry Potter will come to you, right? Um, Show me more, please, for Ophiuchus for December. Two of Pentacles and Three of Swords. We do have 2, 3, 4, 5. Two of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Or should I say 5, 4, 3, 2? There's a thing in military training where when you're going through training, if say it's for special forces or combat, etc., they push you physically to a point where you are physically done. You have no more power to even move a finger, but then you still have to do something, which leads to you breaking out of your physical boundary and into your spirit, where people just do the unimaginable or the impossible, where your spirit overcomes the body that just can't handle it anymore and just does it, takes over and makes it work. So I feel like you've been pushed by life, some of you, to this point of, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to resolve this. I am out of my wits. And it's reaching a boiling point where your spirit takes over. And suddenly you do the impossible or the miraculous, right? And I see it here in this reading. And I think from great darkness, there's going to be an overwhelming bright light that you can't see right now. This reminds me, all the light we cannot see. There's a it's a show on Netflix, yeah, and it's about a blind girl during World War II who listens to a radio broadcast of a professor who talks about how in the darkest spaces of the mind, where there is no light that you can see, there is actual light that you cannot see. Like everything has light in it, and how light is eternal and darkness is always temporary. Because all you need is one candle in a dark room to bring light and chase away the darkness, which is so symbolic considering this is December and it's Hanukkah. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever holidays you celebrate. But specifically, this is so in line with Hanukkah, which is the holiday of light and miracles. So I think this is coming through strongly for you. You know, there are lights that you cannot see, and they are there inside of you and for you. And just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. And that's the nature of light, to be there whether we see it or not. Um, and you see here this is the first light-based bright thing in the cards. Like the cards that came out are like super like gloomy, right? But here suddenly you have this, I don't know, it's glowing. And she can't even see it, but her, her continuing, it's there. It's giving her energy and movement, whether she knows it or not. It's lifting her up. So I think this month, which is the month of lights and miracles, Sag season, right, of faith and mutable fire, I think you'll find yourself floating above all of it, not because of escapism, but because you go so deep. You go so deep. You're pushed there, and then you embrace it, right? And in that very, very deep place, light just comes and lifts you up. Okay, so if you're hoping for a miracle or salvation or just something, you know, I see it here. I see the miraculous in this reading. Um, just more light, literally. Whew. 2 many cards. Ophiuchus, please. And Seeker 13th for December. The Empress. Isn't that perfect confirmation for everything I just said? Going from this very gloomy, painful energy to look at that. It goes from the light that is given to her by spirit to coming out of her hand. She is now the source of the light. See, when all the lights around you are went dark and you can't see a thing, and then you're forced to look within to the light that always is inside of you that we cannot see. There's also the electric spark of the heart. I've spoke about this before on my channel. The thing that gives the heart its beat. It's an electric spark, and then that moves the blood flow, etc. We all have this spark of light inside of us, whether we know it or not, whether we see it or not. And we tend to rely on everything else, on the light of the sun and the light and the guidance of others, which is important part of life, and it's meaningful. But then it doesn't force the inner light to be strong and available and used by us, right? It's a muscle that you got to practice. And when there's so much darkness around you, you're forced to reach inside and find that light. And then when you find it, it's yours. And then you own it. And then you can always reach back into it. And then you can create with it. And so from seeking for light, you become the light. And then you create from there. So you go from feeling at a complete loss where there's nothing and feeling like disappointed, like a disappointment, or like you don't know what to do, to a great creator, manifesting abundance, success, well-being, joy, creativity, having thus giving, the Empress, right? Divine feminine, very goddess energy. The clock says, I hear you asking, it points at 10 past 10. Interesting. Or 11 past 10. I don't know if 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. It's not that kind of a clock. Okay, spam. Spam risk. We're not answering spam risks, right? Okay. So this is your Harry Potter here in the Empress, right? This is the light that you couldn't see, but now is you. And what I was about to say, what a turn of events, and the Wheel of Fortune came out. This reading is so synchronistic. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's amazing. I'm very moved by this reading. You go deep and wide and low and high, and you extend your boundaries to the limit, and beyond. And you find a lot of power of creation, of flow, of manifestation, and you literally just shift your life around like that. Like you just your world just turns upside down back to being, instead of a descent, to an ascent. Instead of digress, progress. And it's just beautiful. And I like that we also have 5, 4, 3, 2, ending with the Two of Pentacles, and then the Empress is 3. So 5, 4, 3, 2, digression, right? And then moving to 3. So now we're back to growth. We're back to progression. It's like it's even in the in the numeral, in the numbers of the cards. And see here, I don't know if you can tell. So you see these triangles? Those symbolize the 4 elements, right? That are like spread out and broken down and fragmented. And here in the Wheel of Fortune, we have them back, organized, in line, in harmony. Everything is at its place. It's like recondensed back to cosmic order, back to feeling like your mechanism is back on track, back to functioning. I think, like when you have a machine that is not working, and the thing that broke it down is like one little thing deep, deep, deep inside of the mechanism that has to be yanked out or corrected. Something is crooked there, but you can't just do it in a second because it's so deep in the system. You got to literally break down the mechanism. You got to break down the machine and completely break it apart in order to even physically be able to reach to that place and correct it, or screw it stronger, or just take out whatever is there that shouldn't be there. But the process is of dismantlement first, and then once that's fixed, it can get all rebuilt. So that's what's going on with you, Ophi. In the next month, you're already in the process of being dismantled. You're already feeling this. This is not a prophecy. It's not a premonition. Okay, so don't worry. You know if that's your case, and you're already halfway through, if not already at the end of it. And then there's reassembling you. You feel like you're reassembled. Beautiful. The light switch got turned off somehow, and you turn it back on, and then you get all your parts back in order. But now there's light from within, and you're good. You don't need anybody else's flashlight. I see you like glowing by the end of this month. The High Priestess. There is just incredible leap here. We went from a lot of dark minor arcanas to really bright, powerful major arcanas. From the first row to the second row. This is very it's very blunt. So the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess. I specifically also see a feminine energy that is going from lack to power. That power was always in you. You just needed to reach in. You just couldn't find it. It was hiding under a lot of traumas and a lot of um, survival mechanisms, and that used to apply, but now just created more mess. And you're beginning to see with more clarity. Page of Wands. Can the focus, please? Can the focus, please? Ah. Page of Wands, one more. This is very Sag season, Page of Wands. And, oh, 2 Sag cards. Temperance in the reverse. Okay, Page of Wands in the upright, Temperance in the reverse, 2 Sagittarius cards for Sagittarius season. This means something. Let's look. You know what? Let's look at the cards. Okay. Hmm. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, Ophi, don't try to retrieve broken relationships once you have all this energy and power and life force back. Don't try to mend things that broke down. They broke down for a reason. Okay. Especially not if a child is involved, because this seems to have been something that was very detrimental for you, for the child, for the family. Like it's just not getting along. Um, and the kids are always aware and always are the most to suffer. So if things are really bad, staying allegedly for the kids is just, it's not for them, it's just using them to excuse not leaving or not breaking out. It's not that you don't find the power, it's not that you can't, it's just you're purposefully, it's altruistic, you're doing it for your child. No, no, it's not fair. Not every piece needs to be glued back together. Some things need to be let, you know, and that's part of the wisdom that comes with this life force, the wisdom of discernment and of letting go and where to focus your energy and thinking more about yourself. Yes. Okay, let's rearrange and see what we can come up with in this reading, other than what we already have. So these are the major arcanas: the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and Temperance in the reverse. One court card, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 of 8, but there's no repetition here, so I'm going to treat it differently. I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to shuffle and pull more cards to clarify more and get more information. You'll find it in the sequel. It's the sequel, sorry. You'll find the links to that below in the description box on Patreon or on Vimeo. Either way, I love you. Stay magic and stay true.